ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਲਾ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਦੀਏ ਕੁੜੀਏ ਨੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਸਨ ਕਹਿਰ ਦਾ ਚੜਿਆ ਏ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਲਾ
He's a bus driver. He doesn't do anything. Why you kill him?
Even 3 years on, words still fail me about what happened here on the 28th of October 3 years ago, where one of our bus drivers was killed in horrific and violent circumstances. You know, and when I think, and I do think of it often, and as I'm sure most of you do, but what brings me out of my depression is I think about the heroes that were there on that day as well, and the lives that were saved, undoubtedly saved by those people who forced their way into a burning bus and saved the passengers that were inside. That's what I reflect on. You know, I also reflect on the fact that, you know, we do a difficult job day in and day out, you know, and none of us wants to be in a situation where this is repeated, and I'm sure that we're all working towards that. So if all I would say then is, you know, we're all here to pay our respects, and if anybody does want to come forward and say something, I've laid 3 wreaths, one for each year, and I've said just about all I'm going to say. I think it's probably a time for silent reflection and silent prayer. And but I've got Councillor Steve Griffith here. Steve has come to pay his respects. As you know, Steve is a local councillor from across the road and a member of the RTBU as well. So I will let him do his laying and praying, and and anybody else that wants to come forward and say something today, more than welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Tom from Rail Bus Tram Union of Brisbane. So I'm requesting now Ms. Angela Owen from Brisbane City Council, few words for tribute to Manmeet Alisher.
I'll just read the Lord Mayor's message. I have a message from the Right Honourable the Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Councillor Adrian Schrinner. The message reads, Manmeet Alisher was a much-loved bus driver for Brisbane City Council and a treasured member of the Brisbane community. Manmeet was always willing to lend a hand and worked hard to help support his family and other young Punjabi men settling in Brisbane. He epitomises the community spirit that Brisbane is known for, and we miss him dearly. It is comforting to know that Manmeet's memory and legacy as a hard-working, genuine and friendly person lives on right here in Manmeet's paradise in Moorooka. I send my condolences to Manmeet and his family. That is signed by the Right Honourable Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Councillor Adrian Schrinner. And having visited Manmeet's home village of Alisher myself personally, I convey my condolences and thoughts to Manmeet's family, his family and friends in Alisher, and all of his family, friends and colleagues here in Brisbane.
Thanks, respected Angela Owen. So now request to Pinky Singh ji, please say a few words for Manmeet
Sat Shri
Alisher.
Akal, everyone, and thanks to each and every one of you for behalf of the community and the family for being here. And it's been 3 years. We lost our young bride brother, and as I always say, let's just remember him for the way he lived, not the way he died. Thank you.
Thanks, Pinky Singh ji. Now request to Mr. Steve for few words tribute to Manmeet Alisher.
Yes, thank you, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we gather. Today is a very solemn day. It's been 3 years since the anniversary of that horrific event here in our community. I know the day of the event we had a gathering of hundreds and hundreds of drivers. And then also the day after we had another gathering of hundreds and hundreds of drivers who were here to show their respect for what had happened to Manmeet. It is something that has touched the local community, our working bus driver community, and the community right across Brisbane. This beautiful place that we stand in has been dedicated to Manmeet. It's a wonderful memorial for such a fine young man who I understand had so many dreams and ambitions for a life that he wanted to live in Brisbane and a family that he wanted to raise in Brisbane. All I can say is it was a very, very tragic event. And I know that Tom and the union have been working very hard to make the conditions on our buses safer. And unfortunately, there is still a long way to go after 3 years of this tragedy. And it was nice to hear the fine words from the Lord Mayor, but it would be nice and even better if we could see some actions from the Lord Mayor into the safety of our bus drivers.
Hear, hear.
And the safety of our staff.
Hear, hear.
So I would call on the Lord Mayor today. Fine words are one thing, Lord Mayor, but having action for the safety of our drivers and preventing this into the future is a far better gift and a far better outcome for our community.
Thanks, Mr. Steve. प्यारे दोस्तों, ਇਸੇ ਹੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ 3 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਥੀ ਮਨਮੀਤ ਅਲੀ ਸ਼ੇਰ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਰਾਖ ਦਾ ਢੇਰ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਔਰ ਲੰਮਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਰਲ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਲੜੀ, ਔਰ ਉਸ ਲੜਾਈ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਸ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਆਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਲਟ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਨਤੀਜਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ। ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਸੇਜਲ ਅੱਖਾਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਉਦਾਸ ਦਿਲ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਮਨਮੀਤ ਵਰਗੇ ਚਿੰਤਨਸ਼ੀਲ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਲਣਾ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਉਸਨੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਲਣ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਹਿਤ, ਕਲਾ, ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਅਧੂਰੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਰਨੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਤੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਥਰੂ ਕਿਰਨ ਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਫੁੱਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇੱਕ ਅਹਿਦ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿੰਨੇ ਫੈਲੋ ਡਰਾਈਵਰਸ ਨੇ ਸਟਿਲ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਟ੍ਰੇਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਔਰ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਥਾਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਵਾਪਰਿਆ ਹੈ। ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮਨਮੀਤ ਨਾ ਬਣੇ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਯਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮਨਮੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਧਾਂਜਲੀ ਭੇਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਆਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਯੂਨੀਅਨ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਕਰੀਏ ਔਰ ਅਜਿਹੇ ਆਗੂ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਈਏ। ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਨਮੀਤ ਦੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ।
Manmeet was my good friend as many other people in the community. When the bus was burning, I was standing right there in front of the bank. First thing I suspected it is maybe due to some malfunction, some fault. No one suspected anything can happen like this. Thanks to the heroes in our community who tried to save it, prevent it. Hopefully, we are living in a place where Corner is working on the real causes of this problem. Why did it happen? Questions are still unanswered. Many people are still seeking how someone can disappear from our community within seconds. Why someone in such state goes on loose? Why there are not people to look after such people? If we are living in a first world country, there should be people to look after people in such mental state so they don't pose threat to others. And since then, many people are still struggling for the safety, security, screens in the buses. That is still unanswered. Limb sympathy won't work anymore. The parents still remember, they still miss their kid every day. And we don't want this thing to happen with anyone else. It is important to be together on this issue so everyone is safe on his workplace or on her workplace. So please keep continuing the struggle so we don't come across anything like this. No one in such dire mental state is not looked after, and no one coming from home is feeling unsafe while working at the workplace. These are still few questions. They are still posing threat on us. We need to answer all these questions. Other than that, thank you very much for coming here. There is another struggle happening at the moment. Many of my friends are standing here. They look after people here. Their own parents are not looked after. There is no one back home to put them on bus. No one back home to take them to the hospitals. This question is still unanswered, and many people are living in sense of insecurity. Most of the drivers, they have no one back home to take their parents to the hospital, to the doctor. These are still first world problems, but we are living with them. We need to solve them, and please stay together. We are stronger if we are united.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank each one of you to be here. We really appreciate on the behalf of the family, friends, and the community. I don't have much words to say, but as I always say one thing, Manmeet is physically not with us now, but he is always and will always be with us in our hearts. And we will keep fighting for the safety of our drivers.
So I request us to Amish Chandra ji, please come forward and say some words for Manmeet, President of Multicultural Association of India. Thanks.
Just a correction there, it's Queensland Multicultural Council that I represent. First of all, I should pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on whose land we gather today, and pay my respect to elders past and emerging. It is indeed a very sad moment, and it was a very, very sad moment. It was a very dark day 3 years ago. Of all of us coming together to support that cause, and I understand as there are still issues that are happening out there. I also thank the local councillor here and also the message that has come in from Lord Mayor. We look at when we work in the multicultural community, in the multicultural arena, we face many different challenges, many different things which are not unique to a community. It should not be that it's happened to a community only, that it does not cut across the board. That everyone who have come here are facing many, many issues, many, many challenges that we need to face and address. And as my good friend Navdeep said, that we can only do that if we are all united in unity. If we have a united voice and if we do things in a united manner, then only we will get. But today is not about long speeches. It's not about feathering any particular issue, but it is more about the respect and memorial. And we hold here in our memory the Manmeet Alisher Sharma and his family. And today we remember him so that and as has been suggested before, that we should get here on an annual basis, so that we don't forget, as the saying goes, lest we forget. So we pay our respects to Manmeet Alisher today.
Thanks, Ms. Amesh Chandra. Now request is from Union Steve Darrell, please come on the stage.
Okay, 3 years ago, I think we all remember, those who were on the job, the amount of phone calls we all got from worried people across our family members that aren't in Brisbane. Everybody got phone calls to see who was that, did you know who that was, making sure that we were all okay. It's a very sad time. It's something that should never have happened to a bloke that was just going out to do his job. He, like everybody else here who drives the bus, we have a job to do. We pick up our passengers. We've been told we've got one of the most important jobs in the world. We carry the living souls of Brisbane from A to B, backwards and forwards. We need to be able to get to a point where we can guarantee, and I mean guarantee, our safety while we're at work. 3 years ago we were starting an EBA. We've got another one coming up. Tom and Bennett have worked tirelessly. Every day they're in some form of discussions or negotiations with council, state government. We need to get this finalised where we can all turn up for work safely. Much respect to Manmeet's family. Sorry for your loss. He is still with us all. And as I look around, I see many of his brothers and sisters joining our ranks. And thank you. Thank you for having the faith in all of us to be able to supply a safe workplace and even better community.
Sorry to take time. On behalf of all the Alisher family, my dears, my friends, all the bus drivers, RTVU members, a very, very thank you to coming here. We remember the first day when we lost the Manmeet. You were in thousands on the first day here. You are always with us. It was a long journey from that day until we get the decision from the court. So you are all with us every day. Your support is really appreciable. Manmeet will always remain in our hearts. We can never forget. So once again, thanks for joining. Thanks for standing with the family every time. I can say you all are our family. You all are our family members. If I lost one brother, I got hundreds of brothers. Thank you.